Welcome back, everybody, to another Two Tamers Talk. Me and you are back.
We did it. We did the thing that we were talking about for like 6 months, or however long. It feels like 6 months.
We had a Digi week.
We did. It was an entire week. We started with Locals on Wednesday last week.
Yep.
The awesome O2 movie.
We'll get to that.
Oh, man. A little bit of sarcasm there, maybe.
Yep.
O2 movie on Thursday. And then we flew down Saturday for the Pasadena Regionals.
Oh, man. What a week it has been.
Yes.
I've never been more excited or enthused for this card game, this format, this community, you just feel so refreshed, you know?
Yeah.
And, we have a little treat for you guys. So,
we do.
As promised, I put together a little video package of our trip. It was a lot of fun. Jeff, Basil, Jacob, James, Nito, we had a great Digi crew down there.
Did.
And we had a blast. So we're going to roll this little B-roll footage for you. Check it out and come right back. And we're back. It was a fun trip, man.
Yeah.
I had a blast.
I really liked the video. You did an awesome job. It's funny because, I've seen you. I saw you a couple times, pulling out your phone, taking pictures, video, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't see all of the shots that you made. You were, sneaky. You were, sneak shooting things. And I'm sitting there, not that I never once thought you weren't doing enough, but it's you did more than I thought you did for sure. In a good way. So.
It was a lot of fun. I really underestimated just the passion of that community and how friendly everyone was going to be. I had great interactions all the way around with everybody down there. Everyone was just really open, big open arms, and we met a lot of fans.
We did.
Yeah.
That was awesome. No, it was probably the highlight of the whole trip for me is having all you guys, our wonderful fans.
Yeah.
We had, and I think we do a good job with our channel and our podcast conveying who we are. We are just normal dudes. We have careers. We have wives. You have kids. I'm gonna have kids in the next couple years, right? We, are hobbyists. We love this game. We do, at times take it seriously, but we just making content. We're not, Digimon's not everything we are. We have nothing without this. We have lives outside of this, and to have all you guys come up who are fans and catch on to that, you guys are just normal people. I love how much I can relate to you guys. And not only that, how many people loved the podcast specifically?
Yeah.
You know, because like I remember starting this podcast, and I remember like being so excited when we get 100 views.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then now it's like consistently hitting that 400 to 500 mark. And to me, my mindset is still in that like, oh, wow, you know, I might know 100 people in my family or my friends or whatever that are watching this. But then like going to the event and all of you guys that came up and were like, oh, I love your podcast. You guys do great. I love the content. Somebody came up to me talking about, yo, you guys make the weird deck profiles, right? And like all that stuff. That was awesome. I loved it. I wish I had more people come up because I'm social and I want to meet everybody and I want to talk to everybody.
And borderline the opposite way.
And you are the opposite, and I want to interact with everybody. So it was great.
You gave out a lot of stickers.
I gave out a lot of stickers. So hopefully you guys like them, and very excited to do that. And it was great, man. It was great. I mean, they it wasn't just us they recognized. It was the entire group.
Yeah, Basil, Nito, Jacob, everyone. Yeah, it was really. It was a blast, man. I my favorite part of it too was, I mean, not just the community, the gameplay, and all that, but the vendors that were there.
Yeah,
were awesome. I mean, Core TCG, obviously, they put the event on, which we stopped by their shop. If you saw it in the B-roll, their shop was awesome. They were super friendly. Great prices. We were able to get BT14 there because we landed there on a pre-release day. So that was really cool. I think we all weren't really expecting to get that.
Sure.
But gave us a lot to do, for sure. Gave us a lot to sneak peek and play with. But the other vendors there, so it was Core TCG, and then Pro Play Games from Florida was there.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
It was really fun, even in between rounds, because they were hustling, man.
Were.
All the booths there were buying singles
and
actively, repricing them and selling them. I was able to get a couple burst mode ghost rares there
that you were looking for and stuff.
And every time you went back to the booth and looked in the glass case, they had new cards.
Yeah.
It was really, really, really cool for someone like me that's just like, you don't see these cards, just in sight. It's always just TCG player, wait for the price.
Wait for them online. Yeah.
Wait
and the prices were really good too, I would say.
Absolutely.
I don't think any of the vendors took advantage of the moment and tried to like overcharge or anything.
No.
You know, I think they were all fair prices from all the vendors. I mean, obviously I didn't look up every single card perfectly, right? But I, from just like my common knowledge and what I saw, and like for example, I don't know Dragon Ball Super. I don't know if those prices were fair, but like I know Digimon and One Piece, and those prices were really good. So it's like, I thought they did a good job. I really liked the vendors too. I was kind of surprised, and so the event was hosted by Core TCG.
Right.
We landed and we went straight to the Core TCG shop themselves because we wanted to go visit that shop because you and I have both bought tons of singles from them online before. And the shop was great. It was really cool seeing that little area. The people there were very friendly. And then we got to the event in the Pasadena Convention Center, and I would say it was well organized. I'd say like the way they did everything, they announced it, the timers on the board.
RK9 was really user-friendly and easy to use.
Yeah, so I will say, like, it's one of those things, like, if you've never used RK9, so I guess this is kind of some regionals advice. Just take some time to read the website, like how to submit your deck list, what all needs to be put in and stuff, and make sure you don't wait until the deadline unless you specifically know why you're waiting.
Yeah.
My case, I waited because I was playtesting and I was deciding on a card. So I submitted mine at like 9:30, 30 minutes before the cutoff.
Yeah, you cut it close, man.
But I did it on purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like I had an alarm on my phone. I was like testing and preparing and doing some mental gymnastics for that. But you can definitely do some cool things for sure.
It was crazy. The $20 EX3 boxes kind of were like, whoa.
Yeah, it's crazy because I feel like I never would have imagined any Digimon TCG box that
$20.
cheap, and I feel like you couldn't buy it online that cheap.
No,
I think they were taking advantage
of
the fact that they were in person.
Yeah, let's
ready
clear
to
out
sell
some of this
stuff.
inventory. When I saw the EX3 boxes for $20, I immediately went to TCG Player.
Yeah.
I'm like, why is this so cheap? And then I realized that the most expensive card that comes out of that box is the Examon Alt Art.
Yeah,
and it's it was $15 at the time.
It's not. Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I remember value being way crazier for that deck, but it's because Examon's not huge right now. The purple red Imperial's not huge right now. And then it had like the Hina stuff in it, the Dorbrick
Dragon
stuff.
Links.
Yeah. So,
but
just being able to see like vendors really it's nice to see vendors that know the value of the product.
Sure.
And they're gonna provide it to you for that value. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's not just a box of Digimon, because obviously they
Yeah.
paid They paid more than $20
They paid more
wholesale
than 20,
for it.
absolutely,
You know,
yeah.
so one, they're trying to clear out inventory, but they're also being fair to what's in the box. So, because I don't know where everyone lives, but if you go to like fireworks stands here that are close to each other, they all have an agreement on what this box is going to sell for.
Yeah, so
you know
they
what
sell
I mean?
for the same.
That was not the case there. It was a $20 box here. It was 25 over there. It was 30 at the next booth. You know,
Yeah.
they clearly were. It's nice to see competition in the market because we get to benefit from that.
Sure.
You know.
Sure.
But yeah, let's talk about the event itself. It was, like you said, hosted by Core, and I agree. They did a fantastic job with the organization. The convention center was spotless.
I have one complaint.
Ooh, what is it?
One complaint, and that is, well, two complaints.
Okay.
They said that Digimon was at the black tablecloths with the gray thing.
Yeah.
It was so hard to tell if that was gray or black.
That's
the no
true.
name.
Yeah.
I think they should have used like a blue, red, green, yellow system for the little things where they put the number on. But that's just me nitpicking because I gotta be constructive somewhere, right?
And after the first round, you knew what tables.
And
were
after the
ours.
first round, you knew exactly where you were. Yeah. So that's just
because
me
they did have
nitpicking.
other events going on there. They had the One Piece and they had DBS.
Yeah,
they had the
the
second day
regionals
of
for all
One
that.
Piece because
Yeah.
like 1,500 people showed up for One Piece or something
like
the
that.
day
It was
before. Yeah.
Crazy.
And when we signed up, we didn't realize they were doing multiple events.
No, we thought it was all
that weekend.
Digimon.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
there were a lot of nerds there.
It was great, man. It was great. It was good to
fun.
see, and I think it was awesome. And then my other complaint, and we can get into the side events in a little bit detail.
Oh,
is
yes.
I just wish that it was a little bit clear how to get signed up for the side events
And when it was going to be. Well, I mean, I guess you kind of knew when it was going to
yeah,
be.
but it kind of feels like starting it like right as soon as the third round was done was kind of like, because it's like, what if I want to play at least 4 to find out? You know what I'm saying? But
it really catered to the people that went X3 right out of the gate.
yes.
And if you needed 2 other groups, us, we went.
Yeah.
There's no way that all of us were going to go X3 in the first 3 rounds and then
just drop. And
yeah,
go play
you'd have
side
to have.
events.
There's sacrifice there.
Yeah, so it's like if it could have done round 4, round 5, whatever.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, yeah, I'll go drop to go play in a side event. But I came to play a regional, and I was kind of on an interesting pace. I have all my notes from my day we can talk about. So it was like I didn't get a chance to drop to go play in those events, but that was. And again, those complaints are so minor, especially the color of the tag on the table, where it's like I'm just finding something to be a critic right now.
Well, I agree on the 3v3 on the side event. I think I definitely agree on that, and I don't think that that's a minor one. I think that that's major, just based on pricing alone. Because if you guys don't know, the 3v3 had amazing pricing.
It had better prize support than the regionals. I would say.
Even if you won, I would argue that if you won and you got that Beelzemon Blast and you got those metal grays from BT8, I'll try and put some images here
right over my
you
face,
guys
just
can-
all over my half.
so you guys can check it out. But it's exclusive art. So first of all, exclusive art always demands higher prices, and 2, they're playable in tons of decks. It's Yammon, it's Deathslinger, it's BT8 Metal Gray, it's the Beelzemon Blast mode, the good one, and then there's a couple other ones, but holy crap.
I know a lot of people that were just dropping, like they already had their invite to nationals, and they're like, I don't need to play in this regionals, I want to go play 3v3 and do that side event. So
we saw some people, because you could see what your opponents did, how they performed in the app. We had some people that won the first 2 rounds and then dropped.
Yeah, they just wanted to go play in the side
They wanted
events.
to go play in the side events, and it's such good value, but it's at the same time, it's not good to run that 3 rounds in at a 8 or 9 round regional.
Yeah.
I was kind of discouraged because I dropped pretty early, and
You wanted to play in those events, and you
play in the
wanted us
events.
to be with you because
but
I
I
didn't want to
wasn't
play next to strangers on 3v3.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's what the 3v3 is about. If you guys don't know, you get 3 people, and you all play different decks. That you have to have the same card restriction, so no more than four of the same card in all the decks combined.
Or
so
one of restricted in all 3.
So
which
typically,
is really interesting.
So typically you play like it's a 150 card deck with the same restrictions, right? So you typically play like you would play Blue Flare, I would play Machine Dramon, Basil would play Shine Gray or something where cards don't cross over, right?
No crossover.
But you can also coach the person next to you. So you have we would probably put Basil in the middle, right? And then we could be like, what do we do? And what do you do? But you guys were doing so damn well. I wasn't going to be like, hey, drop out of this regional so I
Yeah.
can be selfish and let's play in this.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, come on, Bandai. Like,
Yep.
why would
Yeah.
you do that to
Well, I
to
don't know.
groups, you
It's
know?
interesting. Like, does core TCG know that this side event's going to happen? Like, how soon do they know? Because we didn't really get an announcement of it.
Yeah,
It was just kind of like,
yeah.
as you almost get there, it's like, oh, hey, there's some side events that people are starting to talk about. And you're like, whoa.
That is another borderline complaint. It was really hard to hear announcements.
It was. But I mean, with 2,000 people or how many ever, it felt
Yeah.
like 2,000 people
I think there was
in a
2,000.
convention center. What we did here, it was impressive to hear that. You know what I'm saying? So that was a little hard. And I mean,
But they had plenty of TV screens. Like, if they could dedicate one of them
two announcements.
to an event schedule
Yeah.
and where it is, like
It's
that
yeah.
corner, like by the red TV, like
Yeah.
that one, you know, because it's
Yeah.
if you guys watching the B-roll, it's a huge place. Like, and the
Yep.
3v3
Yep.
was in like the back corner. Like, it was kind of a weird little.
Yeah, and I remember, so I had an opponent no-showed, and I just walked over there to like see if I could see even where to sit down or where to sign
Mhm.
up or where to find the info, and I couldn't even make out where I needed to be
Yeah.
if I were to play in the event. So it was a little interesting there. So I guess you're right. Yeah, that is a little bit more of a major complaint, but now I'm curious, is there going to be separate events now, or is there something like our locals can do where we could start doing 3v3s?
Yeah.
You know, like in shop, like we pick a team of 3 and we go against another team of 3 and you go at it or whatever. Because that
Yeah.
would be really interesting to kind of do some more. I don't want to say, you know, like I need a new format for Digimon, but, you know, it's always nice to try something different or play something different, right?
Yeah, and if you guys don't know the format, you're literally just playing against the person across from you,
Yeah.
but it's a team effort, right?
Yeah. So it's 3 games going on against 3 games.
and it's best of one.
Yeah, and you can
Yeah.
work as a team to coach each other. But it's like the person in the middle can coach left and right, and the person on this side can only coach. So
You
it's
can only
like whoever
coach
you're
your
right
sh-
next
you
to.
can only
It's really
Yeah,
interesting.
coach your shoulders. Yeah.
So it's definitely interesting for sure.
I think we
but-
should try it. I think we could find 6 people
think we could
together and
find
just
6
play with
people
it.
and
I think
just
it'd be
try it
fun.
and
But
something like that.
it's awesome that Bandai is branching out and doing new, you know, quote unquote formats for
Yeah.
the game without totally breaking or
Yeah.
making something like with Magic, like when Commander came out. It's like, well, no one's like, well, we're not playing standard or modern anymore.
I know it just Commander killed everything.
Yeah,
right?
so I
Right.
don't want that because I like regular Digimon
agree.
right now,
I
and I
agree.
don't
Yep.
want to give that up. But at the same time, 3v3 sounds like fun.
Yeah.
So we need to experiment more with that. But
Absolutely.
guys got to do a better job at these big tournaments, especially scheduling those. If you're gonna offer crazy
Mm-hmm.
exclusive pricing like that, because some of those cards are insane amounts because they only gave them out to however many people that could participate, and a lot of them were top 4 cards. So
Yeah.
but overall, really, really, really fun event. How'd you do?
Well, you ready to get into some specifics about the regionals themselves? I took notes about all my rounds and kind of things that I learned and
Sure.
saw and wanted
Sure.
to take note of. So I was actually going to ask you this, so I guess
Okay.
I'll save this question towards the end. So I'll let you stew on this question while I go through my match notes. But do you regret picking Old Force to take with you down to Nationals
Sure.
versus another deck?
Sure.
But now the reason why I asked that is because it's not that I regret taking Blue Flare.
Mm-hmm.
It's that I feel like I didn't do myself justice by maybe learning a better deck. I think if I could do it over again, I wish I kind of took Royal Knights, and I wish I would have practiced Royal Knights more, and I wish I would have brought that down to regionals. I love Blue Flare. I'm a huge Blue Flare fan, not knocking on the deck, but to me, Blue Flare feels out of every deck present at regionals that is the deck that really only loses to itself
Mm-hmm.
and loses to itself the worst. Reason why I say that is other decks, you know, you have other ways to win. Blue Flare, if you just don't get a Metal Greymon, you kind of can't do anything.
Yeah.
You know, or for example, I had a lot of games too where I didn't get Blazing Memory Boost till second half, last quarter of the game,
Yeah.
and by then it's like way too late.
Yeah, you can't give your
So,
opponent 5 memory.
Yeah, and so
fine.
now let me preface, I'm not making any excuses. I went 4-4.
Okay.
I honestly think I could have been 6-2 with Blue Flare, depending on if I had a couple things be different, and I'll talk about these in my notes. My round one, first of all my opponents were great.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was super friendly, respectful, cordial. I don't think there was any signs of anything to be skeptical of. I had nothing but fun. All my opponents were wonderful.
Yeah.
First round, I lost to Shine Gray. I just could not get. So game one, I had like 3 Sore Eyes, and I bottom decked my 4th one with a Blazing Memory Boost. So this is a time where I'm happy that I had 4 Sore Eyes, because that was something I was considering, right? But I would literally drop a Sorai when he had the lethal amount of Marcuses and Shine Gray and stuff to prevent me dying, so I could just wait one more turn to draw a Metal Gray. Sorai, wait one more turn to draw a Metal Gray, and I just couldn't get it.
Yeah.
Like, I did the 2 checks, security +1 jamming really early, just couldn't finish it.
Yeah.
It was pretty frustrating in that regard, where it feels like, come on, you're not telling me I can't get one of my 6 Metal Greymons at any point with the drawing, the searching, this.
Yeah.
It's like, what is happening? But I did have an awesome use of the Gaussmon, the EX Gaussmon, where if you play a Twilight, you can grab a Metal Gray from trash. My opponent gave me 4. I ended up dropping the dual tamer that has Twilight, was able to grab a Metal Greymon out of trash, and that was pretty useful. So Shine Gray lost. That guy, he ended up doing pretty well. I think he ended up going like 6-2 the rest of the day. So he was a good opponent. He played really well and stuff. Round 2 was a no-show, and Jacob and I both had no-shows round 2. We kind of took advantage of that, and we went and got a bite to eat and got some fluids, stay hydrated. So guys, if you do that, take advantage, get some fluids, stay hydrated. Round 3 was Hunters, and oh my God, I've played Hunters, and I've played against Hunters many a times.
Yeah.
But that had to have been the fastest Hunters player I've ever played.
Boom, boom, boom.
It was done. I lost 2-0 in an instant. It was so fast, so crazy. I mean, I felt like I just didn't stand a chance against Hunters. So I'm okay with that. So then Shine was my next round. So let's see. Round 1 I lost. Round 2 I won because of no-show. Round 3 I lost. Round 4, Shine. I think I won this one. Apparently I didn't write down if I won this round or not. But game 1, just no pieces, no blazing memory boosts. And so I lost that round. But then game 2, I did something really funny that I specifically told myself not to do on this very podcast. And I remember I made a joke where I'm going to get a really bright colored sleeve so I don't forget about my little raising area. Because, I only play 8 level 3s in Blue Flare. So I had the memory. I ended up playing. I had 5 memory. I played a blazing memory boost. I grabbed a Metal Gray and the level 3, right? And I was able to drop the Metal Gray or whatever. It ended up working where I can't remember the exact sequence of moves, but I was able to play the Metal Greymon and swing. And I remember thinking to myself, if I hit a Marcus where they gain 1 memory, my turn is done. And then I was like, I'm okay with that because I don't necessarily have a good move and it only gives them 1, whatever.
Yeah.
And I picked up the level 3 that I searched and didn't put it in my raising area.
Ooh.
So honestly, I deserved to lose that game, but I still won in the end. I had to wait, I think, 2 extra turns to finish him off because I didn't raise that turn, So that was funny. So I do think I won that round, but it was one of those kind of didn't deserve to win that.
Yeah.
And then I will say the game 3 against that Shine Gray player. I will say, if you're going to play Shine Gray, or if you're going to play yellow, especially with these new yellow cards, I don't know what you have to do. If you are like me, I love tools, I love resources, I love dice, I love the little -1000 thingamajiggers. Figure out how to do some DP math.
Yeah.
Because there would be so many times where my opponent you could see the gears turning in his head, and he's smart. This guy that I played was smart. He was a good player. No knock against him. But you could tell he thought something else was going to happen, so he would -3K to a Greymon, for example. That's a 4K.
Yeah.
And then he'd be like, I can't kill that.
Yeah.
And he did that about 2 or 3 times during the course of our round. And so I just wanted to make a note. If you're going to do yellow stuff, if you're going to play Shine Greymon, take a little bit extra time, breathe, slow down a little bit.
I had the opposite happen.
Yeah.
Where they would forget to trigger the DP minuses because I have Leomons on board.
And you wanted it.
And I want it. Yeah, do it. Like you have to. They're a lot of them are mandatory effects. They're not you mays. A lot of them. Like if you suspend that Marcus, there's a lot of stuff that happens and it has to happen.
It has to happen.
So I had to remind one of my opponents about that last time. Yeah.
So what I don't know, I'm pretty sure this isn't illegal. So if it is, correct me if I'm wrong, I apologize. But if you're going to play Shine Gray, I don't know if it just helps to have a couple dice next to you.
You can have counters, I'm pretty sure.
Start thinking in your head if I'm going to do -3K and turn the dice to 3. Well, then this will give me another -1K, turn it to 4. So that way you can kind of prepare before, because at our regionals, once the card hits the table, there's no takesy backsies.
Yeah, not
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So and not that he ever once tried to take anything back. It was one of those like, oh wait, you didn't, nothing like that happened. But I ended up winning that round, and I think it was due to him not doing the proper DP math, and and again, I kind of think he deserved to win the round because I forgot to raise my level 3. I should have lost, but that's funny. 5, I played against Force, who I hate playing against that deck. You're sorry, welcome. Man. I hate playing against that deck.
You got your practice in.
I got my practice in, and honestly, I felt like the practice, I don't want to say made it worse, but I lost the round, deservingly so, and this would be one of those rounds where I feel like I could have won the whole round. So game 1...
It's not a great matchup for Ulforce.
Yeah, game 1 I lost. He won, no problem. Game 2, it literally came down to I had a Blazing Memory Boost, and I'm like doing the math in my head. Probably should have had a counter, some sort of something to know this. I don't know what I could have done different. But I decided not to crack the memory boost because it was like giving him 3 or giving him 1. And Force gains so much memory, right? I was like, well, if I have a Sora Insecurity or Ice Wall, I put it in. I'll talk about that more in a sec. Then the game's over and I should be able to win next turn by cracking that boost.
Right.
And I was hesitant to not use it because I was thinking like, oh, maybe I should use it, prevent him from being able to play a Tamer to finish me off. And I lost game 2 because I didn't crack the boost. I literally lost because he had 2 memory left over, 1 needed 1 swing, hard play the tie promo for the V Tamer.
Memory. Yeah.
And so that was literally 2 memory to do the final swing. And if I would have cracked the boost, he wouldn't have been able to finish me off. So not saying game 3 I would have won, but I do think, like you said, the matchup does go in my favor. Matchup, and I think that there's a good chance I could have won that one. So that is probably my biggest regret of the whole day is not cracking that boost. But it has never been my style to crack the boost to give my opponent less memory.
Yeah.
And maybe that's because I'm not a great Digimon player. I personally think it's the right move, in my opinion, because it feels like you want to use that memory boost when you have something to do with it.
Yeah.
Especially like Blue Flare, it's an aggro deck. You want to drop a Metal Greymon and swing. You want to have 2 memories so you can go into Zeke Greymon, right? That's my approach, but whatever.
Fair.
Round 6, this started getting to the point where people were dropping.
Like crazy.
Crazy, right? There was no point, and so I got a no-show. I won that round again. So if you're doing the math, I think I've won 2 legitimate game or 1 legitimate game by this point. The other 2 of my wins so far have been no-shows, so that kind of hurt. But and then round 7 was against Force, and I had my revenge.
There you go.
I kind of dominated him, and it was I felt bad for the guy, but it was great. It was like a redemption story for me.
Yeah. And
then my final round, the 8th round, was against Cross, and I ended up losing the round, but we took it to game 3. I had an awesome play. It was interesting because, all right, so this is where I'm going to talk about Ice Wall, right? The entire time I was talking about putting in Ice Wall because it's a very, very strong card. I never once denied that it's a strong card, nothing like that. Ended up, just talking a lot with you guys, testing with you guys, driving you guys crazy about my mental state with that. Ended up putting it in, and I used the Ice Wall. Didn't have it come out with security once. Only used it 1 time the entire regional. And that was where I gave the cross player in game 3 1 memory so I could survive 1 more turn, so they couldn't really finish me off.
Yeah.
But they didn't have any pieces that went on the field anyways to attack with, so it was literally just to memory choke them. And then the next turn they won. But it literally came down to we each had each game, the next player to have a turn would have won. So he won game 1, I won game 2, he won game 3 by 1 turn. It was so close. Nice. And honestly, that might have been my favorite game of the whole day because there was he was a very good guy. I had a great time. It felt like really good gameplay, good cohesion. It was really fun. So that was my regional experience. I know we kind of all talked about dropping early for the side events. When I was 1 and 2, I really was debating on dropping. But then I was like, Jacob is doing so well. I kind of want to stay and support him. And I'm here at the regionals. I'm just going to finish this out and play the whole thing, kind of see what happens. And I'm personally glad that I stayed and played all 8 rounds. Yeah. Even if I did just go 4 and 4, I ended up top 200, 199th. So there you go. There's your headline: top 200 Digimon player, Pasadena regionals. Yeah. But no, it was a good night. And I do think again that I wish I played Royal Knights, even though I think Royal Knights is easier to counter than Blue Flare. I think Royal Knights doesn't lose to itself as badly as blue flare.
I didn't see very much Royal Knights.
I really
there.
didn't.
I saw some.
All around me, I saw Hunters, blue flare, shine gray, and
Wargrey was
and a
everywhere.
couple machine drones
Wargrey
is
was
what I kept
everywhere.
seeing.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so now the question that I posed to you: do you regret playing all 4 set regionals?
Not at all. No,
Good.
I
That's very important.
I had a blast
Yeah.
the whole time. I was very unlucky. And
Yeah.
sometimes you get very unlucky.
Because you were destroying the night before with our testing.
Yeah, we we had quite the round robin in the house the night before, and and I've been fine tuning that deck, and I still think it's a good deck. I'm not gonna.
I think your list is great. I wouldn't change anything on that list.
No, it was just round 1. I went against a Wargrey toolbox that had 6 different Wargreys if you count Black Wars in it.
That's a
that
lot.
I saw.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And it just they weren't fast matches. So the first one was a huge grind, went right down to the end. I only saw 1 Rena the first game. The second game, I bottom decked 2 of them with the Davis, which feels really, really bad. I had a Death X in hand that I should have used because he brought out the Raid Metal Gray to come swing over my body. And it was just chilling out there, and he had 4 Tamers out, and I should have just Death X. And I thought about it as soon as I laid down the Searcher to start my next deck. So I lost that. I mean, we ended the second game with 2 minutes left on the clock anyway, so best that would have been was a tie.
Yeah, sure.
And then the second game, holy crap, it was against Shine Gray, which is one of my best matchups, one of my most practiced. He laid down, he hatched that egg, and I was just, and put the yellow Agumon on it, and I was just like, all right, I got this.
You're like, boom, ready to go.
No level 4s to be seen in the first game. No level 4s to be seen in the first game, and then my first rookie on the second game was 24 cards down in my deck.
That's insane. Does that include the security, or is it 29?
Well, 29 was security, I guess.
That is
there was 3 in my
more
security.
Than half of your deck, and it was not level 3.
Yeah, so unfortunate. And then after that, if you lose the first couple games, you're kind of down into the pile of rogue decks, and I ended up against Beelzemon for game 3. And hey,
just a bad matchup.
And I don't even know. I haven't even practiced it in
why would
probably
you, right?
a year. I forgot what a lot of those cards do because we haven't seen it at our locals. No one here that we know has one ready to go.
Yeah,
you can never tech against every single deck.
You can't. You pick the right decks to tech against.
I had some strategies against it, but my biggest folly in the last game was that I forgot. Or I guess I don't think I ever knew, but the level 5 that digivolves and gives the Digimon, when this Digimon dies, play a Beelzemon.
Oh, the Ballmon.
Yeah, it gives it to the Digimon. So I Death X, and I was like, oh, I'm going to take that ability away. I'm going to kill the level 4. And
but
he's
not
like, oh,
on
no,
the
this
card,
Digimon gains. Yeah, and
yeah.
I was just like, oh, you got it, man. It's fine. So, I mean, I played a ton of Digimon that weekend. I didn't go in expecting to be like top dog or whatever. I thought I'd do a lot better. But at that point, I was just having fun with the vendor. I spent more time with the vendors than I did with the Digimon. I was hanging out at PPG, Core TCG, watching the trades come in, watching them sling some stuff. I got some awesome stuff for my collection. I had a blast. And then just supporting you guys between every single round.
Yeah.
It was really fun to see you guys come out and do the it wasn't really a thumbs down. It was more just like a head shake,
Yeah.
And everyone's just like, oh, you lost. Would you do it again? I'm like, absolutely, I would go again. I would go again. And to be honest,
Nationals right around the corner, dude.
Not that
Not that soon.
I don't know if the wife's gonna want that.
Right.
But no, there's a lot of fun stuff coming, and immediately went back to the house and put training cards in Old Force. And
you were started ready to test that.
Crap.
And you got some new stuff you're building too.
I got some new toys. Yeah, a whole bunch of new stuff. But congrats to Jacob.
Yes,
he did the best out of our group. He got 34th.
Yeah. So Jacob, if you guys don't know him on the channel, it means we're not doing our job. I need to get him on the channel more.
Yeah.
But he has been religiously playing purple. He has been from the very beginning.
Yeah, he's a combo player. He's
a combo player.
Yeah.
He honestly was the best Storm Magic player for Modern in Portland when he was in high school. So he's been a card game player longer than me. He's been playing for a long time. Really good at card games. He knows how to sequence things. His brain works really well for this type of stuff. And like you said, top 34.
Yeah.
So he was the highest ranking. So I think he went 6-2.
I think so, yeah.
6-2 with Belfamon, and so we're gonna go ahead and post.
He was 6-0 at one point, right?
Yeah, no, I think he was
5-1, and
5-1.
And then he won, and then he lost. Yeah,
yeah, he was like 5. I think he was like 4-0, 5-0.
He was undefeated for a while. He was top dog from the beginning.
Yeah, he was top table, a lot of tables. So
yeah,
image of the deck list is
Oh, yeah,
somewhere on
I'll put it right there.
the Jesse Magic. He does all the hard stuff. But yeah, let's so it was one of those things that's been really fun to watch his deck evolve. Now, it kind of sucks that we're not going to be able to do like a deck profile video on this because cards are getting banned tomorrow?
Today
On Friday.
when this posts, yeah.
Wow. So yeah, so you can't play this deck. Have fun with what could have been. Thanks, Bandai.
I think it's today.
Thanks,
yeah.
Bandai, for hurting purple so much. But
Yeah,
no,
your brother lost more eyes than Louis did.
Is that an O2 movie reference? Stay tuned and find out. Anyways, so it's been really fun to watch him work on this deck and see the changes that he's made as things happen.
Yeah.
So a lot of lists sometimes play Keenan and some don't. And what I really like about Jacob's list is that he leaned into the strength of the Matt and the Keenan and being able to gain memory on your opponent's turn in combination with the security Itmons.
I'm going to take a little bit of credit for that.
Yeah.
Because when he started playing those
when
Keenans,
you started playing your security
in
control.
my security control, he's
You
like,
started
that
seeing
card
it.
does that on your opponent's turn?
Yeah.
He's like, would that be good? I was like, I think it would be good.
So let that be a piece of advice to all the fans that you guys are wonderful. Always like, comment, subscribe, send this to all your friends. Shameless plug. Note, you can take inspiration for any deck from any deck profile video from any friend, no matter what, and you might be able to find that there are some really cool things that you hadn't thought of. So, and a lot of people were telling him not to play the security Itmon, and I have been in favor of that security Itmon since day one.
I think it's good.
Not only when that card released, but in this deck specifically because, especially paired with the Keenan.
Yeah.
They swing. Yep.
And
And
cheats
then
out of Gizmo and you gain memory.
and he gains memory, and then
good.
it stops your opponent's turn. And anytime your opponent has spent the entire turn before they commit to anything, thinking or doing DP math or memory math, whatever, and something comes along and completely throws it out the way, it's like it throws your opponent off balance. So I really like what he did. His Tamer lineup was awesome. The options was really fun. It's kind of fun watching him talk about that one of Underworld's Call because you'd be like, really? One of Underworld's
that
Call?
Purple matte, the Underworld's Call goes really well with the Keenans.
Yep.
But the thing that surprised me the most about that is when he added that purple matte from the starter deck, really made that deck a lot better too.
Yeah.
So you have a steady setter that also gains you tons of memory.
It
like
works
you
so
recoup
well
that
for the deck.
Easy, fast.
It's funny how BG2 Matt finally gets replaced with starter deck Matt. You know what I'm saying? Like they're both purple Matt Tamers, and it finally, I think a lot of decks are going to benefit from that Matt for sure. And then Jacob wanted me to pass on the MVP of the deck is the one of Blocker Devimon.
Yeah.
He wished he could play more so badly in this deck, but he couldn't find the room. I think he used it almost every single game because if you don't know Belphemon, it uses like every card in the deck. You see like every card in the deck almost every round. And he used that Blocker Devimon so much. It did him so much work. I love this deck. I think it's great. I think he perfected the deck. And I think honestly, from what it sounds like from him, his losses came down to luck.
Yeah.
And he easily could have been the winner. But that's how it is. That's the way the cookie
That's just
crumbles.
the way it works, yeah.
And this regionals has strongly reminded me that this is in fact a luck-based card game.
Oh, for sure.
And the whole reason why I picked Blue Flare was to try to mitigate some of the luck and make it so that way I'm consistent.
Yeah.
And this regionals really reminded me just to chill out and I'm not going to go 8-0 with a consistent Blue Flare deck, and that it's okay to rely on luck and stuff like that. So it was very.
It's not like Magic where you have search your library cards.
Yeah, it's
You know
very
what I mean?
positive. Yeah,
You can search top 5, top 6, I guess, with Blazing, right? That's kind of as deep as you dig. So if you don't get what you get, you don't get it.
What deck won the whole thing?
Mugen Dramon.
Machine Dramon. And you know what was so funny about this, guys, is
here we go. Suit cross 7.
Here's just a bad joke I want everybody to be on. I'm not saying I was right. I was pretty convinced I was going to play the cross 7 superior mode because the Machine Dramon matchup is my worst matchup because with Analog Man, redirecting, it is brutal.
You're only 7 or 8K. Who cares?
So I somebody asked on the comment, and I haven't had a chance to respond why I played one of superior mode if I'm not doing the Kaiser Nail package for it. That is why. Yeah. It's just so that way I can it's a searchable, basically removal spell that can remove a War Gray or a Machine Dramon who are the redirects or Quartzmon, whatever. Just my really, really tough matchups. And I do not regret taking that out for the Ice Wall. I do not. Okay. But that's what I ended up swapping. Good. I don't have any regrets for that. I don't think that would have won. But everybody, this is where the joke is. Everybody
Yeah.
kept saying, "Oh man, you're not gonna see Machine Dramon.
0.2%.
You know, 0.2% that you even see a Machine Dramon." I died and I laughed and I pointed at every single one of us in our group when Machine Dramon won the regionals because guess what? I'm a genius and I just knew that Machine Dramon was going to be at this event. So,
oh yeah. So all in all, that was a fantastic trip. It was really fun to hang out with all y'all. I mean, we went on some adventures. We ate some. I don't want to say. I mean, we ate California food.
Yeah,
it was all really good. We did the In-N-Out, the Raising Cane's, all that stuff that made me really come home and just eat
the salad,
chicken breast. Yeah,
yeah. As someone who travels a lot and eats a lot of restaurant food. The first day I get home, I'm like, I'm gonna fast for as long as I can.
Yeah,
and I either want like a cold cut sandwich, like no heat, just you know, or a salad because. You know, your body needs a break after all that food.
I was exhausted after the Raising Cane's. Like, the food was amazing, but oh my God, did my body not want any more of that at all. I was like, no, we're done with this stuff. But it was a blast. I mean, everybody was great. And, we'll definitely have to put one on the books sometime early next year. And it sounds like Bandai is realizing that people love these. I mean, there's another one next month, and then there's
it's crazy
Nats,
how many there are because everyone kept coming up to me. Are you going to go to nationals? I think Jacob's going to go to nationals. Basil's going to go to nationals, and I'm like, dude, I gotta stay home. I can't travel like this.
Yeah, maybe once every 6 to 8 months.
Yeah,
maybe.
I can't do once every other month. So
yeah, and it's not even that expensive to go. I mean, it was pretty cheap. I mean, I think we got some nice cheap flights, and the Airbnb was interesting. The craziest $1 million house I've ever stayed in, I gotta say.
Yep. California house prices.
Yeah, but no, everyone was super friendly. We had great Uber drivers. We didn't run into any issues.
Nope,
so.
Nobody like that. Like I said, everybody was great. Didn't have one single. I was kind of hoping for a fan to come up and like challenge me on some choices in a deck in person.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like everybody was super nice and
everybody was really respectful. The funniest thing
nice.
to me was that. We encourage people to come up to us, like on the podcast. We're like, hey, while we're there, come up to us. And I could tell that there were a lot of people that kind of
like looked and pointed. Because
most of the people that came up to me, they're just like, I don't want to bother you. And I'm like, you're not bothering me, man. You're definitely not bothering me. What's your favorite video? I was trying to pick brains. Like, what could we do better?
I should have done that.
Yeah.
I should have asked what their favorite video was. That's Jesse wisdom.
See? No, but I think it was pretty 50-50 split between deck profiles, podcasts, that kind of thing.
Sure.
So it was a lot of fun. I definitely think we need to get another one on the books and figure it out. Or Bandai, come on, give us one in Portland or Seattle. Let's go.
We have a good convention center. We have the crowd. We will, you know what? We'll run the event. We'll do it. We will we will do all the announcements. We'll do the streaming.
So if you're on the fence, if you have been on the fence about going to these in-person regionals, or you just don't like webcam play, which I like testing, but I don't know if I'd want to do it in a competitive format for 8 or 9 hours.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a lot.
Yeah, come down to the in-person. From our experience, everybody's really nice, and they ran really well, and everything's respectful. You get your pricing right up front, your participation. There's no crazy lines you're waiting in. Like, everything's really streamlined and fun.
After playing it online and now my first in-person big event like this, definitely prefer the in-person. Yeah. Obviously, the online is a little bit more accessible.
Yeah.
But the in-person is just an energy and just
it felt like
the
a
interaction.
Huge locals, right?
Yes,
like
it was amazing. Yeah. It was so nice. I loved it. It was great.
There were some cosplayers there. There were some influencers there. There was some. It was really fun. So
we weren't the most famous people there. I don't think either.
Not even close.
Yeah, like I don't think of myself as famous. It's crazy.
But we'll do another one for sure.
Yeah.
So.
And now what the fans are really here for on this episode.
Are we going to do the movie review?
We're doing the movie review, Jesse.
Man.
We're doing the movie review. We had this, you ever heard the term like a compliment sandwich?
No.
That's what this episode's going to be. Really positive regional experience, the middle of the sandwich, which is the movie, and then we're going to end with how great Locals was last night.
And Cards of the Week.
Right. So, Jesse, as someone who doesn't know any, has never seen any Digimon, can't even keep a straight face saying this, guys. I'm so sorry. As someone who has not seen a lot of Digimon content, what did you think of the movie?
9 minutes of Digimon before. Mostly clips about like watching my favorite Digimon.
Yeah, watching
like
a fight scene
or something.
Yeah.
So fighting is what I expected to see.
Yep.
Didn't get a lot of that.
Nope. You did not.
So let's preface this.
We can't spoil anything.
Spoilers.
Okay.
Spoilers. I'm talking about everything.
You're gonna talk about
If
everything.
you guys haven't seen it, or if it's something that you're really worried about, just clip ahead, I guess.
Just skip forward. Skip. Yeah.
Okay, I'll count that 5, 4. Okay, now those people are gone. There's no fighting in this movie. The most action in this movie is the still image of Omnimon and Armageddon
In the
fighting
background, like on TV.
on the news.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's just Digimon digivolving and then running away from tentacles.
You made the most hilarious point and joke. You were like, they literally digivolved to catch somebody from falling.
Yeah,
and
that's
they did it more than once.
Oh, all
the
time.
That's all they did it for.
Yeah.
You're just like, really?
Yeah.
No, I agree, man. There was like not a lot of action, and
there's tons of falling.
and not that something that needs to be 100% action. This isn't a Fast and Furious movie,
right? Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the balance was not there.
And I think I was the only parent in our group. I don't know if any of y'all have kids, but this movie was a real freaking bummer, man.
Yeah.
There's more child abuse in this movie than fighting or Digimon doing things that are like stimulating, you know, and it's really sad.
I think they did a good job trying to create that emotional aspect of like
that
the
part.
darkness.
I agree, because it's early on, and you think there's going to be a payoff. Like this guy's gonna cheer, like he's gonna find the power of friendship. He's gonna
and his Digimon's gonna mega evolve and save the day because of that.
Yeah, he's gonna join with these guys. He's gonna be part of the team or whatever. And he's just still sad at the end of the day. It's a bummer, man. Like it's all a real bummer early on, with a huge buildup, and then the Gigadeath at the end, where like I don't know if this is the giant monster, they shoot something like a Gigadeath hole in the corner, like the size of my finger, and it dies,
and the whole thing dies,
and you're like, why? Oh, okay, that's
you're
it.
Like,
I did not expect the movie to be over. At that point, I thought that like, cool, they shot it once, it's gonna retaliate. It's gonna
and
do
then the fight
something.
scene's gonna start,
or like the Digi eggs are gonna start hatching, and then they're gonna defend it or something. And you're just like, and as a Digimon player, I was trying to figure out what
the card's gonna do.
Well, and what the negative aspect of it was, because it's like it's this huge thing that blooms, and it's like, look at all these new Digimon that are gonna come out, and I was like, oh, that's rad. Like, but apparently that's bad. Because not everyone's supposed to have one or something.
It's bad because imagine an entire 7 billion Digimon running the planet freely, where all the fighting and destruction.
I imagine,
and injury.
6 new card sets. That's all that's all I cared about. I was like, dude, give me more. Give me more Digimon. Or I thought, like, I don't know. It was just.
Imagine that dude you hated in high school with the Digimon, though. And imagine if his was stronger than yours. That's what I'm saying right there.
Yeah. My favorite part of the movie was meeting Digimon fans that I've never seen in Vancouver before.
That was awesome.
That was really cool.
They were excited for the promo cards, and I was trying to get them to come to Wayward.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, hey, man, you like those promo cards, right? Have you ever played the game? Oh, no, we've never played. Or I heard one say, yeah, we just got 2 starter decks.
Yeah.
I was like, Wayward City Games.
Yeah, come on down.
Get your, butt down here. Let's play. Let's have some fun.
Community, great shop, great staff. Yeah, absolutely. That was my favorite part, because everyone in there was friendly, and it was kind of like I don't want to say as crazy as like the Taylor Swift movies in the theaters, but everyone was joking and laughing like during.
There was a lot of interaction from the fans during the movie.
I think everyone, like, nobody took the movie seriously that I saw in there. Everyone was just kind of like, "Are you kidding me? Like, what is going on?" Like, he peed his pants. Like, that's what we're talking about. Like that happened, and then like the eyeball comes out, and then he slams the other eye back in. But like the biggest moment in the movie for me is like when he's like, when you know that he killed his Digimon. And then they show the scene, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, he like grabs the bat.
Yeah, and you
like,
think is
he gonna kill this thing with a bat? I was like, this would be insane. This movie would be like talked about, like he's gonna beat this Digimon to death with a bat, and then no, he hits his Digi device or whatever, and then that's what loses. I don't know.
So funny story that I broke a tooth. My tooth is fake.
Yeah.
Because I did something similar. Not with a baseball bat. I was a kid. And I was running up the stairs, and I had a Game Boy Advance SP, much like this little folding phone.
Yeah.
I tripped. SP went flying, hit the handrail, bounced right back into my mouth, broke my tooth.
There you go.
So it's like I related to that, man. I related to that, but no, dude, it was tough.
What did you think as a Digimon fan?
This is hard. This is really hard, because what I think it comes down to was people didn't like Try, right? But Try was 6 movies, 6 hour-long episodes that was able to do a whole story and give us a fight scene with like Merciful and Ordine.
That's cool.
And I think if they'd taken that approach with this movie, with this concept where you have 6 hours to explain this kid's backstory, give Ukomon, was that his name, Ukomon? Yeah,
Ukomon.
like an actual evolution chain or some sort of action or some sort of fighting or a little bit more than just Imperial Dramon as the only thing, then I think it could have had more potential. I do like that they were trying to get us a deeper connection. Because, you know, like we're a little bit older fan base and we don't just need lineless Monster of the Week episode like Digimon's kind of known for. So this was a cool approach. I was a little not upset, maybe that's not the word I'm looking for, a little like, why did they do that when they tried to explain that the only reason Tai has Agumon or Matt has Gabumon or any of the Digipartners have a Digimon is because Ukomon willed it into existence?
Yeah.
Like that was
they
like
retconned a lot. Yeah.
And, you know, obviously it could be the multiverse where this is true in this universe and not that universe or whatever, right? Like you don't have to like, you know, completely destroy your kid line of thinking because of that, right? And there was a couple, so I thought that was interesting, you know, and then honestly, like season 2 has never been one of my favorite series to begin with. I think season 2 has an awesome beginning. It's so cool when they had the armor evolutions and they find the eggs, and it goes from like this cool Monster of the Week as a kid to them like unlocking a new power, a new form. Like, oh, we need to go underwater. Well, good thing Armadillomon found the submarine Digi-Egg, right? And now he can turn into that. So that was really cool. And then they just kind of like got rid of all of that once they discovered they could digivolve into XVmon, Ankyomon, and stuff, and no more armors were used. And I feel like, and especially like the fighting against the Malamyotismon, the Mummymon, the Arukenimon, and then it just became the Imperial Dramon show. Right, where everybody else flies around doing stuff that
there was a
nobody
lot of
notices,
around,
and then Imperial Dramon fires a laser beam, and that's how I feel season 2 is as kind of a whole. But maybe that's a bad opinion. You guys can hate on me all you want in the comments. That's fine. But I season 2 was a tough season, I think, to be a fan of, anyways. And then the Imperial Dramon, like as somebody who wants something cooler from Aquilomon and Gatomon, Sylphimon is just not a good design. It's never been a good design. Valkyrymon is a sick design. I love that. Valkyrymon, one of my favorite Digimon of all time. Love that, especially when I like play through Cyber Sleuth. But Sylphimon is not a good looking Digimon. It's just this thing that just looks like they're like, what if we take pieces of Gatomon's ears and put it on a bird man with no wings? Like,
well, and it seems like in the movie that was the only thing they really evoed for was to get wings so they could save the falling Tamers. Other than that, they didn't. It was just, oh yeah, I'll get into Angemon. Why?
I will say,
do something. No, I'm gonna catch this dude.
Shaq shooting eye lasers was pretty cool.
Shaq was ridiculous.
And like obviously Shaq's design is not super cool either, but not every Digimon needs to be super cool. Shaq is literally like a rock being, like in Kilomon, a hard shell, and an angel to make a Buddha statue. So I'm not gonna complain about the design of Shaq at all. You know, but it's just like, I agree, man. It's like literally Imperial Dramon fired one laser. That's the action.
That's the movie.
And that's the movie. And so it was kind of tough. And it's also weird too. And Digimon Tri had the same problem where the main character is the new character they made, and not the ones that we all watched as kids or the ones that we know to love from our card game with the Tamers. So this unknown character, which they did do a good job of you connecting with, right? Like you said, is dark. It was deep, but you know,
there was no payoff.
There was kind of like no payoff, and
they used their Digimons to like catch a ride.
To catch, it was like a taxi, like a free Uber. It was like
cool.
a free ride.
I got a way to get up there. Just
and it's like they mentioned Tai in the background. They mentioned Izzy in the background. You're telling me Tai and a Wargray wouldn't come flying around the moment a giant tentacle monster appears? Like,
well, and that egg had been there for a long time.
For like
apparently.
a week, and not a single other Digidestin showed up to try to help. It all happens to be the season 2 cast.
And they show everyone else. You see all like the Marimons.
You see all them around the world with their Digimon.
Just chilling in cafes around the world. Like, that could be big.
Yeah. Well, maybe I guess it's something we don't have to worry about. Season 2 kids got it. Davis is gonna stop making ramen so Imperial Dramon can fire a laser.
Vmon eating ramen was probably the best part of the show.
And I'm trying to stay positive because I want more content.
I do too. I want more movies.
I want more movies.
Creates more buzz around the
shows.
IP.
I want more IP. I want all that, and
it all translates to more players playing the card
Yes,
game,
yes.
which is what I'm all for.
You want,
So,
yeah. I just want the series that I've loved my entire life to have a good good like repertoire of stuff that I
Yeah.
can watch. So I don't know. I'm hoping that this takes Bandai in the right direction and they get some useful feedback from this. I hope that this inspires them to have all the Digimon series in one place like Hulu or Netflix or Crunchyroll or whatever, because you still can't watch Data Squad legally anywhere. You can't buy the DVDs, really. You have to buy a bootleg copy. I might know somebody who did that. Don't tell anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just to watch that. So it's like frustrating where as a Digimon, if you want content, it's really hard to get. It should not be hard to get.
Yeah, or you have to piece it together. Like
Yeah.
try and here and here and here and here. And I think that that's also one of the reasons, like I'm down to do research and like watch this stuff and like kind of get involved, but the overwhelming and just it's I guess overwhelming is just the best word to say. Or just where do you start and how do you continue in a line
And it's like
consistently without having to like search for the next series, or there's only 2 seasons here and then the next season's over here, and so
And you've asked like, all right, name me one movie and I'll watch it. I know you've done that. And
everybody gives me a different
everybody
answer.
gives you different answers, which is fine. That comes to taste. But what they do tell you is like, oh, you got to go to this website and you got to stream it on YouTube, and you don't even know if it's the full movie. You don't know if it's the right order. That is a little frustrating. But so there kind of needs to be some
It's a daunting
sort of
universe to start.
Yes, there needs to be a good entry point, and it's tough because I don't think that this movie is a good entry point.
No, it's not.
For someone that
No,
doesn't know
absolutely
Digimon,
not.
you know,
Absolutely not.
I will say the Digimon 2020 reboot series was a good starting point. That was cool, and I think it started out great. Had kind of a boring, almost last 20 episodes, and then the last episode was pretty good. So, and then Ghost Game, I think, did a really good job. And Ghost Game, I think, also kind of had a ending that people didn't like and stuff. So maybe Digimon needs to work on how to finish things as well.
All right. Well, Tom, what's your score out of 10 for the movie?
6.5, I think.
Okay.
That's the number that popped in my head. There's no reasoning behind it. It literally just popped. So that's 6.5.
I'm a 3.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Just because I enjoyed just watching it for the first, just watching like a full thing from start to finish, because I feel like I kind of know the characters. I know the names of everything, like everything I knew. You know, I've had these cards into the card game forever. So I knew every Digimon. I knew all the Tamers. I knew all that stuff. So it was kind of, it was interesting.
Do you think watching it in dub would make it a little bit higher? Do you think
no, that didn't bother me
you?
as much as I thought it would. It was fine.
Good.
I was involved in the story.
Yeah.
But shout out to Bandai. The cards look amazing. They're textured.
Oh
They're
my
foiled.
God, yes,
They're
yes.
not some crappy white,
And they're good
unlimited looking
cards.
crap. The cards are
They're
amazing.
all good.
They're really good. Yeah.
It's just great. Armadillo Rush becomes good. Hawkmon Rush becomes good. Vmon becomes insane.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think
oh
they
my
realized
God.
how good those cards are going to be.
I don't think they realize how good the white cards are going to be at all.
They didn't give us the legality ruling until like a week after it was already done.
Yeah.
You know, because I think people are like, "Oh, these cards are really strong."
I'm showing up right now to play
I'm going to
it.
bring them right now. And Bandai's like, no. This is going to disrupt tournaments and shit. So, so that's kind of my synopsis of the movie. Let's talk about last night.
Sure.
Because
one last point, because
What?
this is going to be my segue because I'm a genius.
Okay.
Guess what card from Digimon movies have not been made? Parrotmon. Like the very first Digimon movie, a Paramon is like the first Digimon anybody's ever seen, shows up out of nowhere. Agumon digivolves into Greymon for the first time to fight a Parrotmon.
How are you
And
gonna
we have
segue
not
that
had a
into locals?
Parrotmon. So, speaking of cards, we went to locals.
Oh, that's your segue? My segue was way better.
I know your segue's better.
All
I just
right.
had to make the Paramon point.
Gotcha. So this was an interesting locals because
Oh, God. First of all, how many people showed up?
well, hold on.
I don't want to
to
disrupt your flow, but
no,
wow.
but I'm saying usually this is the least participated in because it's after pre-release.
Yeah.
Before an official, before BT14. So you're kind of in this limbo. And typically this is a Wednesday where you either do like a 6-pack or you do another pre-release event.
Sure.
Or you just kind of skip it. Like a lot of people will skip this one because it's like you have the new cards, but you can't use them.
Yep.
Right. So this is always the tricky in-between week. Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie. I had already changed out 4 decks with training cards, and because I'm excited about these cards. You know, everything gets faster and better in monocolor. So I was already there, and I was like, man, do I go this week? Like, what am I going to
Yeah.
take this week? I've already changed almost all of my decks. I don't think participation is going to be that high just
Sure.
because everyone wants to use
Everybody
the new
wants to
cards
use-
they got a
yeah,
pre-release,
everybody
right?
wants new stuff. Yep.
But I was like, no, I really want to go. I was like, I have to do this. I really want to go and see everyone and hang out. And, we got a great group of people that come out. And so we show up, and there's 27 people there.
There's no room in the shop. It's amazing.
It's
Everybody's
busy,
here
yeah.
to play. Did 20? That's a new record for us.
27 was
I think it's a
crazy,
new
yeah.
record. 27,
Yep.
especially on the day, like you said, like the lull period.
Mhm.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't gonna show up.
Yeah, I thought about it.
I was like, I kind of want a break. There's one reason I showed up, because it was the last day I got to use Gabumon and Eismon.
There you go.
And so
Yeah.
I pulled out one of my favorite decks that uses those, and I'm like, I'm sending these guys off into retirement in style.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna play, and I am so glad I did. 27 was awesome.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. And I think a lot of people too were relieved, because our locals is not used to you and I grinding so much.
Yeah.
And playing
we play a lot of
super-
fun decks.
Yeah, we play a lot of fun decks, especially me. Like
The last couple months, it's been Old Force every single
last
week.
couple months I've been playing Blue Flare.
Yeah.
And nobody likes playing against Blue Flare.
Yeah, or Old Force, really. Yeah.
Like, yeah, you might like beating them because you're like, screw you, you don't deserve to win playing Blue Flare.
Yeah.
But like, so it was so relieving going there, playing some not as competitive stuff. And I think there was a lot of people at the shop that were like lifted and seeing us come back to play some fun
Yeah.
versus trying real hard, so
Yeah.
I think it was good. I think it was really good. And not only that, we saw some faces we haven't seen before.
Yeah, we had some new faces.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
we had a couple new faces that I don't remember meeting before, so I thought that was great. I love it when we start getting new people into the scene.
Mhm.
I want to keep that going. I want
Yeah.
27, 30 every week.
Yeah. No, I I had an interesting way of choosing my deck because I hit the ground running when we came back from Pasadena, and like I said, I
Yep.
started putting training cards in a bunch of decks. I started really moving cards around, and so I broke my Kentorosmon because I'm building Lord Knight, and I broke Diaboromon because
Stay
I
tuned
put
to
in.
the channel because that deck is insane, guys.
It's a lot of fun. I broke Diaboromon because I put in the aces, and so you can't use that deck. Old Force has trainings in it now. Can't use that deck, and so I'm just like flipping through all my decks, like what haven't I changed? Because I was really excited for these training cards, and I pick up Security Control, and I'm just like,
Well, that's why I asked you if you regret playing Old Force at regionals.
no.
Because you were so close to playing Security Control at
Well,
regionals.
this is a different list, but yeah.
No.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
understand. I understand it's a different list. But you were, do you have a picture of your deck? You want to put it up here as well? So I'm sure you can grab the picture if you want.
Yeah, what are you talking about? My old one?
You
My
know, the
black
one you
yellow?
played today.
Oh, yeah,
Or
yeah.
yesterday.
No, well, you know what? You guys can go to Wayward City Games' Discord and look in the winners podium.
Join in that Discord.
Because I took it last
Because you
night,
won
yeah.
the whole thing with Security Control. And so that's, again, why I was asking you,
Yeah.
not because your list was the exact same as it was when you were, the list you were thinking about taking to regionals.
Yeah, not even close.
But I just was wondering if you enjoyed playing Security Control, if you could imagine yourself doing 8 rounds of Security Control.
I mean, it's better than 3 rounds of losing.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
No, I really like the list. And honestly, just going back to what I was talking about before, like I picked the deck up and it was still missing 2 cards because I took the Death Dexes out to put in, I put one in All Force and I put one in Diaboromon, and so it was still missing 2, and I didn't want to open the other ones, and so I think I threw in a Quartzmon and I threw in a Merciful Mode.
Just random.
Just because, like, what are these level 7s? What can go on Shadow
You're like
Seraph?
big
Just-
DP. That's cool.
They were sitting next to me. I'm just like, cool, put them in.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a security. If you guys look at the list, it's like security control toolbox almost.
Sure.
Like it just the top end is all different. There's like a Death Hex, BT13 Gallantmon, what I just say, Merciful Mode and Quartzmon.
Yeah.
And it's like there's just random level. Oh, and a Zwart Defeat.
Yep.
And so I just grabbed like random level 7s that might fit in the deck. So no, it was fun. We met some, like you said, new people. I was playing my for first against
And you won.
a new player to
A
the
new
shop.
player, yep.
Yeah, it
and
was
that new
very-
player was playing a really good deck, and he played
Machine
well.
Dramon,
I
yeah.
could tell he was really
He
knowing
knows
his stuff.
Machine Dramon.
So I don't know
Real
what scene we poached him from temporarily, but I love it. Let's keep doing
good.
it.
Yeah,
Welcome, dude. I think you said you're going to start watching our stuff.
yeah,
So we're holding you accountable now. No, I'm just kidding. No pressure, my dude.
yeah. But it was a great time, great community, great shop as
Yep,
always,
yep.
great hosts. So if you
Yeah.
guys are in the Portland, Vancouver area, come on, let's get to 30. I think that's our new benchmark,
Yeah.
right?
I was so excited because I played Avenge Kid Turbo Omni X again, and I
Yeah.
haven't played it for like 6 freaking months.
Check out the deck profile.
So I was going through. Oh, first of all, let me give I'm a sorry shout out, because the guy who originally created that deck, or his friend, had messaged me. There was a little bit of like, oh, I made this deck. Someone stole it online, posted it to Facebook, and that's where I found the inspiration. We're all clear. Everybody's good. We're all cool. He messaged me on Facebook with an update for like the Gallantmon stuff and with the Eismon ban, I believe. And I'm really sorry, dude. I have not responded to your message.
Yeah.
So as soon as I am done recording this, you're gonna get a response from me like, hey man, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry. This list is really cool. So I was looking through our deck profile videos, because I, like you, took those pieces out of my deck to build like 3 other decks.
Yeah.
So I had to scrounge, find those 3 other decks, make sure I had 50 cards. You know how long it took me to find that 4th Sistermon that I had? And I could not find the BT13 Rush Gallant. I really wanted to put 1 or 2 in before I went to locals. So I ended up literally just taking the exact same list from the deck profile 6 months ago, and I made 1 change.
Nice.
And that is because I took shiny Gabumons from RB1, and oh my God, they're beautiful. The BT2, I love the alt art that we got in the Tamer party thing, but the foiling is so nice when you have a perfect shiny Demi-Mera Gabu Eismon stack, and it's all cohesive. Ugh, why do you got to take that away from me, Bandai? You're teasing me. You're taking that away. It's gross, but no, I went 3-1, and I lost my first round to Belphamon, which I think is a horrible matchup for me.
That's pretty nuts, yeah.
You know, so I was expecting, honestly, to go 1-3 or 2-2, and I did better than I thought. And
another huge array of decks.
Able to send that deck into retirement and, you know, not regret, because I remember the week before regionals, I was like, oh, this is the last week I can play Eismon and Gabu.
Yeah.
I need to play Avenge Kit again, because it's my favorite deck. But then I was like, no, let's do the smart thing. Let's do more regionals prep. And then I ended up doing well at the locals. And then when we come back and I got the nice surprise that I got 1 more event.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was amazing. So
it was good redemption for me from getting absolutely trashed.
You deserved
it. Regionals.
And I like your security control list. Besides your inconsistency in the Solomon art.
I know. I need 2 more alt arts.
No. You need 4 of the RB1s because they're foil.
Okay.
Just go for it. Let us know in the comments below what Solomon, BT2 Solomon, is your preference. Do you like the original? Do you like the RB1 foil of the original?
Or the Tamer
party
pack or something. Tamer
and
party.
I don't want to hear it's max rarity. I don't care what max rarity is.
It's gotta be
you
shiny.
Get to choose what cards you play. You get to choose what cards you look at all the time. You want them shiny or not? That's the only answer.
All right. Well, let's jump into cards of the week and wrap this bad boy up.
Sure.
Spoilers, next week we know that there's tons of BT16 reveals. We're going to jump into those next week, because I kind of want to see where things end up as far as I want another solid week of reveals so we can kind of get an idea. Because right now we're getting things from Bird X antibodies to Magna X's to it's all over the place.
And honestly, this episode is so long. We don't have time to talk about
so next
BT14 and BT16, so that's all for next week.
We're going to get into BT16 reveals as well as our first results from BT14 format. So let's jump into the cards of the week and wrap this bad boy up. You want to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
My card of the week is specifically the English exclusive alternate art, so I better see that picture when I rewatch this episode. It'll
be up there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's my favorite of the Metal Greymon Ace.
I agree.
I absolutely love this artwork. This to me is what Digimon art should be. It's so good. You're a big comic guy. You've explained, you started explaining the significance of the artist, of how much impact this guy has had as an artist and I see it on this Metal Greymon card.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting for prices to stabilize before I buy one.
It'll be 2 something.
But I'm gonna buy one. I don't know. I might sleep with it every night. It might be on my bed, my little nightstand next to me.
We do still have
keeping
a case
me
to
safe.
Open. We have a case to open, so
that is still stay tuned to the channel.
So stay tuned for that.
Will Jeff pull one? Find out next time on Digital Gate Studios. But I love that card, man.
Yeah.
That art is so good, and I can't imagine not having more of that because it's so good.
If you guys don't know, the relevance and the exclusiveness of this is the fact that it's an English-only release. It's also an artwork done by an English artist. It's done by Dan Mora. It's if you guys don't know comic books or comic book,
I didn't know.
he is huge in the comic book cover artwork specifically. He's really, really good. I used to collect Power Ranger comics, X-Men comics, all that stuff, and he's everywhere.
He's all over.
He's everywhere. He has very consistent art. He's always like really clean lines.
Yeah.
It's kind of how is his kind of style. I was really excited to see that Bandai is branching out to more local regions,
I think
because
that's
we know
awesome.
that China is getting like exclusive arts. We know Japan has some that we don't have yet.
Sure.
We've had a couple, I think, right? Like the Decker.
The Decker and the Beelzemon.
Yeah, so we've had a couple, but I think they've still been Japanese artists.
Yeah.
And we just got the exclusive art. This time,
It's an
I'm pretty sure he's American. An American comic book artist.
Yeah, sure.
And he's famous. He's very, very good. If you collect
You
alternate,
could tell by his art.
if you collect alternate arts of comic books, you know Dan Mora, because he's everywhere. I'm sure he's done DC. I know he's done Marvel. He's done a ton of Power Ranger stuff.
Yeah.
But he's fantastic. And when this artwork came out, I was like, oh my God, it's awesome. It's a shame that it's on probably it's without a doubt the worst cyborg you could probably put in Machinedramon.
Oh, the card is not that great.
The card's not that great, but the artwork
is just a masterpiece of pure.
Yeah.
I'm about to get a big old blanket made
Yeah.
of this art, and like that's gonna be my comforter on my bed because
And once
this
you
card
see,
is so good. I love.
Once
this.
you see the texturing on the bottom, you're like, oh, so like he
Yeah.
gave it the initial treatment, but Bandai really was like the coup d'état.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
they
the
gave
match
it the
made.
rest.
Maybe they just hire him to. Maybe I mean like okay. First of all, if I ever win the lottery, I'm about to hire Dan to redo every Koki artwork.
There you go.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Basil. Sorry, Basil.
All right, my turn.
Yes, sorry, please.
No, you're fine. So yours is all about prettiness. Mine is about functionality, because this
Okay,
is
you
not
win.
a foiled card whatsoever, but it is the promo Nightmon, the new one.
Can I ask something?
Yes.
Why did they stop giving promo cards foiling? They should.
Why are you
All
asking
foil?
me? I don't know.
Bandai, you're subscribed. You're
Bandai, come
watching.
on.
Jump in the comments. Let us know why.
Oh, it's because it was right along Diaboromon Ace, and we get screwed every single time, us Diaboromon
it's like, come
fans.
on, man, foil that. But sorry to
could-
interrupt. Please
No.
continue.
This card's amazing. This card, I know, like you and I are both big fans of. We keep one eye on old cards. Right?
Absolutely.
We love vanilla cards. We love to bring back some old strategies from when we both started.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, I remember playing Lord Knight when it was just in its heyday in BT4
It was
or
wrecking
BT5.
everything.
It was wrecking everything. I mean, it was like top deck of the format. You watched all these influencers play it.
Yep.
And the issue with the deck is that you didn't have a consistent line of fives.
Yep.
You had your one Nightmons,
I
which
think
was
it would have been too broken
back then. Absolutely. Yeah. So you had your 4 Nightmons on play, minus 3K or minus 4K, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So you could cheat out of level 5, which was huge back then, and at minus DP. So you set up for your another Lord Knight. Holy crap. This thing is insane.
They did a really good job with this card because, like, we got teased with the Ragna starter deck or the Jessamon starter deck. I can't remember which one specifically had the red-black.
Oh,
Nightmon.
Nightmon. Yeah. I think the Ragna.
And so we're like, oh, okay, this is writing on the wall. They're never going to give another yellow Nightmon.
Yeah, they gave us 2 black ones.
That's right.
They've
That's
given
right.
us 2 black ones, which you can play if you want, but it doesn't really do a lot for the cohesiveness of the deck. This one is yellow and black.
And
It's
the
a blocker.
effects.
Well, it's a blocker.
Yeah.
Which is huge. I mean, you're playing a big 7K blocker for free. On play has Starmon's effect, but times 3. Crazy. And then the inheritable, I honestly was just thinking offensive on it. I didn't realize that it's all turns.
Oh,
So-
it's inheritable. It's broke. You
Yeah.
showed me that today. I was like,
Yeah.
are you serious?
So you can, especially with the training cards, you can Evo onto it for 1 with
Yep.
like, I personally like the /Angemon, Evo for 1 minus 8K. But there's a million different things you can put on it. But having that inheritable active on the field is an active threat for your opponent that's insane. Every
Yeah.
time if they swing, you get to play a level 3 out of your hand for free.
Yep.
And yellow has arguably the best on-play level 3s in the entire game.
Sure.
You have
For sure.
security attack minus, you have gain a memory draw card, you have take a security minus 2K, you have rush, you have cutemons, you have Renamons, security attack minus 1, you have Lopmons, check top card of your security before the attack goes through, leave it there or take it. Like there's a million amazing things you can do with this.
Yeah,
and that's
remember-
just on your opponent's turn.
Yeah.
So you can get the same thing going on with
'Cause it's
on your
all
turn. It's all turns once per turn. Yeah.
Like,
so.
who would have thought? Because Bandai apparently is doing the same thing we're doing, is keeping an eye on old cards
Mm-hmm.
to start bringing updates for. I don't think I ever would have guessed in a million years we would have gotten a yellow Nightmon,
Yeah.
B, a Nightmon with an effect that actually helps the deck a lot. That's insane.
Yeah, and it's a blocker.
Yeah.
Being able to play it for
There's
free
so
and just
much
have a
that one-
7K blocker.
I
on
couldn't
top.
imagine this card in BT4.
Oh, it would absolutely
Like
annihilate,
BT4,
yeah.
you'd be like, literally, there's nothing else to play because that card is so good. They might have restricted it.
Well, and that's the thing about all these rookies that are still good
Yeah.
is they're all old.
They're all, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Pulsemon, Renamon, Tinkermon, the Kudamon. There's- none of these are like new level 3s that do.
Yep.
Oh, how did I forget Lucamon?
Yeah.
Level
yeah,
3. Play
like,
it for free. with
Imagine
base
your
swing.
opponent swings on their turn.
Yeah.
You play a Lucamon for free with the effect of that Nightmon. That's what you were showing me, and I was like, okay.
10K body
Okay.
on board. Yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah.
stay tuned. That's going to be my first deck profile of the format. And now I think we can probably wrap it up.
Yeah, hopefully you guys liked the longer episode. We did have one person come up at regionals and say they wish the podcast was longer. So this specific episode is dedicated to you. Everybody else, suffer along with us. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, let us know if how much fun. If you went to regionals, jump at the comments. Let us know how you did. Let us know how much fun you had. And honestly, I kind of want to hear your movie takes too.
If you played in the 3v3, let us know what you thought of
Yes.
the format, because we did not get a chance to do it. So I really would love to get feedback from people that physically played in the 3v3, and how was the camaraderie? Like, how did that work out? So I really want to know. So thanks, guys. We have tons of great stuff coming up for you. And yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay tuned.
Awesome. Thank you.